Hi guys, today for reading, we are going to read a short story called The Talent Show. Looks like this. It was written by Susan Wojciechowski and illustrated by Laura Oversat. It is on pages 264 all the way to 278 in your reading books. It says, Miss Babbitt came to school one morning wearing her smiley face earrings, the ones that mean something special is going to happen. Kelsey asked her why she was wearing them, but Miss Babbitt said she wouldn't tell till the end of the day. Right before dismissal, Miss Babbitt said, "Boys and girls, I have something special to announce. 2 weeks from today, this class is going to have a talent show. It'll be in the gym, and all of the first, second, and third graders will come to see it. We won't have winners. We won't have prizes. It's just going to be for fun. You may perform anything you'd like, a poem, a song, a joke, a dance. Are there any questions?" Carol Ann asked, "Can we wear costumes?" "You may wear costumes or not, whichever you prefer." Stephen asked, "Can we do stuff in groups?" "You may perform alone or in groups." Pam asked, "If we say a poem, do we have to memorize it? Or can we read it off a paper?" "I think it would be much more effective if you memorized it." Leo asked, "Can I have my dog in my act?" "You may, but someone must bring the dog at the time of the show. It may not roam around our classroom all day distracting the class." Wendy, who's shy and talks so quietly, you can hardly hear her ask, "Do we have to do something?" "No one has to be in the show, but I think those of you who choose to be a part of it will have lots of fun." The dismissal bell rang, and we all ran for the buses talking about the talent show. Here's the kids raising their hands, asking their teacher questions. That night, Carol Ann called me on the phone. "Beanie, I have the greatest idea for the talent show. You and I are going to recite a poem together. I wrote a poem that has lines for 2 people to say. It's about bees, a queen bee and a worker bee. It'll be the best act in the whole show. If they gave rewards, this act would win first place. We'll practice every day after school. My mother will make the costumes. You'll be the worker bee and I'll be the queen bee." "Why do you get to be the queen?" I asked. "Because I have curly hair, silly. Don't you know anything?" The next day, Carol Ann gave me a copy of the poem. We practiced at her house after school. Carol Ann stretched out on big pillows to say her lines. I had to stand holding a mop and a pail. Carol Ann said those were props, and they are made to look as our parts. I didn't want to hold a pail and a mop while Carol Ann lay on pillows, but I didn't complain because, number one, Carol Ann is very bossy, and I'm a tiny bit scared of her. And number two, I didn't have any better ideas for an act. The day after that, we practiced at my house. Carol Ann wore a crown. I didn't. On Saturday, Carol Ann decided I should say my lines in a low, growly voice like a worker who is tired, and she should say her lines soft and tinkly like a queen. On Monday, Carol Ann showed me pictures she drew of the costumes. Carol Ann's had a gold ruffled ballerina skirt. Mine had a big black and yellow striped t-shirt and black tights. So here are the girls practicing for their lines. A week before the show, Carol Ann said, "Let's talk all about the things that might go wrong." "Let's not," I said. Carol Ann ignored that and started to list them. "I'm worried you might forget your lines or drop your mop or get a run in your tights or trip over your pail or get the hiccups or sneeze." That's when I started to worry. I worried that I would spit when I talked. I worried that my antenna would fall down over my face. I worried that instead of saying, "I feed the queen and build the hive," I would say, "I feed the hive and build the queen." Every night at supper, I said my lines to my family. Every night in bed, I bit my nails thinking about doing the bee poem. So here's the girls thinking about what could go wrong. One night, as I was repeating, "I feed the queen and build the hive," over and over during supper, my dad said, "Beanie, relax. You're supposed to be enjoying this talent show. I know Miss Babbitt even said the show was for fun, but I'm not having any. I know I'll do something wrong and Carol Ann will be mad at me." "Then why are you doing an act with her?" my brother asked. "It just sort of happened. Besides, I don't have any better ideas." "How about doing the cartwheels you just learned in gymnastics class?" my mother asked. "Your teacher said to do them really well." "Carol Ann wouldn't like that. She's got everything all figured out for us." So here's Beanie talking to her family at supper. That night, as I lay in bed biting my nails, my dad tiptoed into my room. "Are you awake?" he whispered. "I can't sleep," I said. "I'm thinking about the bee poem." "I want to show you something wonderful," Dad said. He swung me and Jingle Bell onto his back and carried us down the stairs and out the front door. There were 2 sleeping bags spread out on the driveway. Jingle Bell and I lay on top of one of them, and Dad lay on the other. "Look at the sky," he said. "I don't think I've ever seen it so beautiful. I wanted to share it with you." Dad was right. The sky looked like black ink. The stars looked like white polka dots. "How many stars are there?" I asked my dad. "Billions," he answered. "I mean, what's the exact number?" "That's a mystery." "I'm going to count them," I decided. So I picked a spot to start at and tried to keep track of which stars I had counted and which ones were left. When I got to 27, I got mixed up and had to start over. This time I got to 32 before I got mixed up again. I started a third time. So here's Beanie and her dad, and that's her little bunny rabbit. They're looking at the stars. Dad stopped me. "You know something, Beanie? I don't think you should count the stars. There are some things in life that are just meant to be enjoyed." "You mean like a dish of double chocolate ice cream with colored sprinkles and whipped cream on top?" I asked. "Yes," he said. "And like a sausage, pepperoni, and onion pizza?" "And like kittens," I added. "Right, and like Beethoven's Fifth Symphony." "And like a starry, starry night, Daddy." "Yes, like a starry, starry night." He looked up in the sky for a while. Then my dad asked, "Do you know what else should be enjoyed?" "What?" "A talent show." He reached over to my sleeping bag and squeezed my hand. We lay there looking up at the stars for a long time, not counting them, just enjoying them. So here's her and her dad laying there looking at the stars. The next day on the school bus to school, I took a deep breath and said to Carol Ann, "I don't want to do the bee poem. I want to do cartwheels across the gym floor." "Why?" she asked. "Because cartwheels are fun." "What would you wear?" "Shorts and a t-shirt." "What kind of music would you have?" "No music." "How many cartwheels would you do?" "As many as it takes." "What if you fall?" "I'll get back up and keep going." "What if you do a cartwheel into Kevin Gates?" "Carol Ann, quit it." I said, "I'm doing cartwheels no matter what you say." Then I gave her back the paper with my bee poem lines. So here she is talking to Carol Ann about the bee poem on the bus. On Friday, our class put on the best talent show in the whole world. For his talent, Boomer Fenton showed his birthmark in the shape of a dog's face. Kelsey played Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star on her violin. Leo tried to get his dog to roll over, but the dog ran under Miss Babbitt's chair and wouldn't come out for the rest of the show. Carol Ann and Wendy did the bee poem. Carol Ann's crown fell off right in the middle of it. For my talent, I did cartwheels from one end of the gym to the other. It was fun. So here she is doing cartwheels at the talent show. I want you guys to think about the questions at the bottom. It says, number 1, why doesn't Beanie want to be in the talent show with Carol Ann? Number 2, what is Beanie's father like? How do you know? And number 3, do you think Beanie shows courage in this story? Explain why you think so. I want you guys to read the story to yourselves, and I want you guys to answer the think about it questions. You can use your language notebooks or a separate sheet of paper if you'd like. If you have your reading notebooks, that would be fine too. And please submit these to me by Wednesday morning. If you guys have any questions or concerns, please feel free to email me. Bye.